Alrighty, hello everyone. Welcome back to a kind of like a progress update about my project on police violence. So last time we were working, we were kind of had this little function here that we were working on to give us a kind of like a big breakdown and look and see just general occurrences in this data set here that it breaks it down by the victim's age, victim's gender, race, their ages, just information about people who have been killed by police. And so, first, last video, you probably saw me working on this little function here. I actually got it working and it works great. So let's take a look here and I'll show you what it does. So we can enter one to search by statistics by state. And then let's look at California. Let's see what's going on there. Okay, so pretty much this function, it kind of sorts and filters the data set based on the values. So we can see here the average age of people killed in California, 35.46, amount of males, females, just general occurrences of people in the data set to give us. So pretty much look and see just the overview, and also we use these functions later to actually do some visualizations. So let's actually get onto those visualizations and we'll just kind of see some occurrences. So these two functions I created right here create pie chart by gender. You pretty much pass in the data frame that consists of this CSV file here. You can pass in a location, so it can be Chattanooga, it can be Atlanta, wherever, and the SORC right here pretty much it designates whether it's a city or a state. So this one sorts it by gender and this one sorts it by race. Now let's actually try this right here. So I can run this little snippet here and enter if you want a state or a city to see the ratio of race. I'm going to do state and let's do Tennessee. So it creates this little pie chart here with the little values and the labels so we can actually see a better understanding of just how this is broken down. So as we can see in Tennessee, white people have a 63% occurrence in the data set, specifically for Tennessee, and 21.83% of African Americans are in Tennessee in the data set. And then we have this value right here, unknown. So there's occurrences in the data frame under the race, how it says unknown race. So I also went ahead and put that in this chart to kind of see like where are these occurrences going on, and just to kind of see like where they didn't enter the information, just see how much it breaks it down. We also do it by the gender ratio. It's pretty much males to females. As we can see in Tennessee, 93% of the people for Tennessee are males and they have been killed by police. And then we can do it for other places too. Let's do let's do another state and let's do it by California. And as we can see, it kind of like flips around here. We've got bigger occurrences. There's probably more instances in California data set. That's why we have this kind of like skewed. But if we see here, Hispanic Americans take up 42% in the people killed in California by police. And as we can see, I was starting to notice whenever I was working on this that it seems like males pretty much always dominate in terms of being killed by police in the data set. So there's much more higher occurrences of males for this one. So let's do one more state. So let's do Georgia, for example. Whoops, let me run that again. Well, let's do state. We'll do Georgia. Oh, that's the wrong one. It's this one. We'll do state. We'll do Georgia. And as we can see, white Americans take up 41% of the people killed in Georgia by police. African Americans take up 30.97%. As we can see, the gender ratio for males to females is that males have a higher occurrence, even in Georgia. Okay. So now I also created some other visualizations. It's a bar chart. So the example is right down here, and I'll talk about that here in a second, how we got to that. So the create double bar chart by race and the create double bar chart by gender, pretty much you just pass in the CSV or the data frame of the police data, and it calls the special functions that we created earlier to filter by gender, filter by state, and then the other function, the create race bar chart, we can see that we also use the filter by race function that we used earlier. I created those functions for this specific purpose to where I can kind of get these good visualizations where I could just filter out the data, just kind of have it on hand in a good format rather than have to clean it every time I want to access it. So we can run. So this little snippet right here, we're going to run it. And it prompts us for 10, or no, not 10, I'm sorry, 5 states, and we can just pretty much enter them, and it will pretty much give us the statistics. So I'm just going to pick a couple off this list right here. We'll do Florida, Indiana, Iowa, Maryland, and we'll do Mississippi. And so this pretty much just shows us the bar chart occurrences of male to female who have been killed in the specific states right here. I also went ahead and added a little code to put the number of occurrences up here, so even though we can see like there are more males right here than females, it's pretty good to just go ahead and just kind of place that. That way you can be able to actually see the number of occurrences and just get a better understanding. So let's do a couple other states. I'm almost positive in this entire data set that there is not one occurrence of males being more than the females. But I could probably search that. Let's do Montana. We'll do Nevada. Let's do New York. We'll do Oregon. We'll do Pennsylvania. As we can see here, yep, it does look like males in this data set are more likely to be killed by police than females. Okay, so let's comment that. We'll uncomment it. And it's pretty much the same way I used the function before. You can just enter in some values and it'll actually show you by the race. So let's just pick a couple, get a fresh data set. Let's do Hawaii. We'll do Connecticut. Instead of Nevada, let's do Louisiana. Okay, so looks like Hawaii doesn't have many data points in there, but Louisiana, on the other hand, it does look like here that African Americans have a higher occurrence to be killed by police than white Americans. Okay, so let's try out a couple other ones. Let's do Montana. We'll do North Dakota. And we'll do Texas. Okay, interesting. In North Dakota, there are no occurrences of African Americans, Hispanic, or unknown values that have been killed. Specifically for North Dakota, the whole state. At least what's available in this data set. Okay. But Texas, on the other hand, a lot of occurrences, a lot of unknown values too. I think that's what's the most interesting part of this data set is that there's just pieces missing. And just like you have like one value, like you'll probably have their age, but like in this case, like we don't have their race. So like we have to kind of like filter that out and be able to see like what are we going to do with this. Okay, so it's pretty good that we got the visualizations out of the way. So going forward, forward, I plan on exploring this other data set as well. This one right here, the police death officers that have been killed in the line of duty, pretty much breaks it down. This one doesn't have like the gender nor the race. It pretty much breaks it down by state, and we'll have to look at this data set and just kind of get some visualizations going. You're gonna see the overall story on this one. Then there's also a couple others that I want to look at. I'm gonna also specifically look at this arrest data for Chattanooga. This one also breaks it down by race and just like the gender as well. We'll be able to look at this one and we'll see information about it really close to Chattanooga. That one's specifically the get out of here. I keep accidentally opening them. Fatal encounters. I'm probably gonna look at this one too. This one's really big. There's a lot of occurrences in here. So yeah. Alrighty. So next time we get an update, I'm probably just gonna get a bunch of functions together and just make some big visualizations to kind of show you the overall story here. Alrighty. Thank you for tuning in.